Joining us to provide an overview of the state of private equity in Arizona is Mr. Ryan Smeets.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is terrific. Awesome. This is the second time that we've put on the Smart Funding Summit. We did this last year, back in February, and a different topic. And so really, really excited about the interest today and all the different people here. Want to say a few quick thanks. First off to Insperity. They're providing the refreshments for all of us this afternoon, so make sure you head into the back of the room, and if you get a snack craving, help yourself. Thanks to them. Also, a variety of other sponsors that have made this possible. Gallagher and Kennedy, I mentioned Insperity. Vaco Consulting, we've got Jerry out here from Tennessee visiting us, as well as their local team. Grant Thornton, I don't think they need any introduction. Thank you for them for being here today and sponsoring this event. Lovett and Touche, our great friends at the Arizona Commerce Authority. You'll be hearing from Mr. Andy Lombard later this afternoon. And Sneaky Big, our host. Sneaky Big Studios. You guys are sitting in the most state-of-the-art, sophisticated studio in the Southwest. This is the only place where you can come and do pre-production, production, post-production, and broadcast in a single hallway. So we're really grateful that we get to leverage them as a sister company in the YAM portfolio here this afternoon. And I'm here representing Big YAM, the Parsons Agency. We're a marketing advertising firm located just upstairs. Does anybody know what the YAM stands for in Big YAM?
You're a mess.
Boom, you're a mess. So I'm out here just offending everybody today, calling you a mess, and asking for your mess in return. But all jokes aside, we're really excited about this topic of private equity, specifically within the middle market. And so I want to just kind of lay the groundwork for today in terms of the different audiences, different people who are here, give you a sense of what you can expect. And I'm really excited about the size of this event. This is intentionally this size in this space so that we can all get to know each other a lot more and start to spur some additional economic development within the great state of Arizona. So why are we here today? First off, if you're a middle market company that's here attending and learning about the state of private equity, we want you to learn from each other. We want you to gain a deeper knowledge, and we also want you to find new partners for service and hopefully capital. If you are a service provider like ourselves, remember that you are in the business for profit, first your clients and then yours. And so we want everybody to keep that at the forefront. You're going to hear a lot of the conversations around service providers and how they work with private equity and how they work with their clients as they get ready to attract that capital and that partnership. And then lastly, PE firms, or those representing PE firms in the room, if you mind just putting your hand up. Wow, look at that. That's unusual for the state of Arizona. So really interested in making introductions for you to other companies and other service professionals here. We'll make sure we do that through the panel and then at the cocktail hour later this afternoon. So we're going to start real basic, 101, right? What is private equity? I like to think of the analogy that's most simple as a mutual fund. Right? And so private equity is aggregating capital from a number of sources, if that's wealthy families, individuals, or companies with meaningful assets, and they're using that capital and they're deploying that private money to purchase companies. There's various types of funds and strategies. You can see some of those behind me. But over the last 10 years, the industry's changing, and there's a lot of trends that I'm going to walk through, and we're going to discuss and what those changes mean for the state of Arizona, what they mean to middle market companies, and how we can all work together around that. There's going to be a lot of financial jargon. I'm sorry for that. If it goes over your head, just put your hand up and ask the question to explain. We want to do that. We don't want people to leave here and not know what somebody was talking about, right? So EBITDA is going to get thrown out a lot. Some other terms. Internal rate of return, multiple on invested capital, and distributions and paid in capital, right? So familiarize yourself with those. We have smartphones. Look things up. Ask questions, right? There's no shortage. I like to make the joke. I've got a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. My 7-year-old thinks he's really, really smart because he can ask any question in my smartphone and get MBA level content served to him in the form of video, right? But let's not dumb it down. Let's ask questions when we need to. Okay, generating wealth. That's a big component that we want to get to the heart of. So we're going to hear some really interesting stories today from some entrepreneurs and founders and executives in PE-backed companies, or those who've raised money. And at the end of the day, they're working to grow their companies, generate wealth for themselves, for their employees. And we want to talk about what that looks like in this market today. Because it's not so much that you're going to get a high multiple on your company and you're going to exit and you're going to retire. I wish everybody well, and that would be the case. But there's the opportunity to roll those investments back into the fund and have some subsequent paydays as future liquidity events happen. All right, so you guys ready for some math, some bar charts, some trends? All right, is that fair enough? We'll go through a couple of them. The first one is the current state of private equity within the middle market, and this looks at deal activity. All of this data is freely available. I'll send this to you. It's also available via PitchBook. So if you look here, you see in the big blue bars the deal value, the number of deals, and then off to the left by sector. So materials and resources, IT, healthcare, financial services, energy, and then the catch-all of B2B and B2C. But I think what's really interesting is you can see the growth. 2018 closed with nearly 3,000 deals. And already in this first quarter of 2019, over 600 deals. The time to exit and type, we're going to talk about the exit activity, but first, valuation and multiples. Okay, so if we look back for the last 8 years, you're seeing single-digit multiples, right? And the blue bar is the S&P 500, and then the light green bar would be the PE buyout. And now we're approaching 13 and 12x accordingly. So there is a ton of dry powder that's out there, and that money is looking to invest, but it's chasing too few deals, so there's a lot of competition going on. When I think business owners see a graph like this, they think, wow, I want to be the handsome guy at the bar, right? I want to be the attractive woman at the bar. I think my company is great. I should be getting 13x. We know that's not always the case. This is the median. So we're going to talk about what value goes into that and what makes those multiples possible. Okay? And then next we want to look at the exit activity. So you can see the exit value in green across the bar. Last year, just about 1,000. And this year, already 137 in Q1. A lot of this has been add-on activity within the middle market. So companies, platform companies are being bought. And then there's other companies that are being added on or rolled into. And I think what's most telling is the buy and build strategy. So I think where PE was 10 years ago, there's and this resides in the state of Arizona, this misperception, right, that a PE firm's going to come in and they're going to flip you right away. Okay, and some of those slides showed that before, but this is changing. It's a buy and build. It's more patient relationship and capital. And you can see that here in the time to exit. It used to be 2 to 3 years, and more recently now, we're hovering over 5 years. And with some of these funds having a 10-year run, that could be a 5, 7, 8-year cycle for some of these companies. And so consider that. And then over here on the left, you can see what are those types of exits. Corporate acquisition has been the bulk in green. Just a tiny sliver in gray of initial public offerings, and then strategic buyouts has been the rest. Okay, so what does that have to do with the price of potatoes? What does that mean for Arizona? Well, I think we're on a tear, and I want to thank the economic development folks in the room. Can you raise your hand if you're from an economic development group? Okay, we've got a few others who are going to be here. GPEC, ACA, City of Scottsdale. We're doing a great job of attracting companies to Arizona. You can see we've rebounded since the recession. Our gross state product was 3% last year, over 3%. It beat forecasts, and we're looking at another 3% this year. Personal income rose 5% last year, which is great, but our unemployment is still hovering at about 5% for the last 2 quarters, and that's slightly behind national averages as well as our neighbor to the north, Colorado. And so there's room to go, and there's room to grow, and as we look at what our economy needs, we're going to need a greater access to capital for our middle market companies, and we're going to need to have a greater access to talent. So I've been really excited. I'm a young man. I'm in my mid-30s. And it's been really neat to see, because I'm not from Arizona. I moved here, and I've been graciously assimilated into the business community. But I'm seeing a lot more folks my age who are boomeranging back, and I'm seeing a lot of investment, and we see that today with the number of PE firms in the room looking to invest in Arizona. So really excited about that. With that, I want to thank you for attending, and I want to invite back up to the stage Robert Vera, who's going to take us through a couple fireside panels with some really amazing entrepreneurs and executives within the state of Arizona. Then we're going to bring them all up, and we'll have some time for interactive Q&A. Sound good? Awesome. Thank you so much.